Family and friends, thank you for coming to the services for Kristine Pitcher Price. And I'm here to celebrate her life together as friends and family. My name is Heidi Porter. I'm a funeral director with Larkin, and I have been given this honor to conduct her services. I just want to first acknowledge the beautiful flowers that Sienna has designed specifically for her mama, and what a great job she did picking those out. And also want to, and the family would like me to thank everyone who has sent gifts and flowers to the family, and is deeply appreciated, and the love is felt. Thank you for all the love and support. We are going to start the services. I just want to read off the program here. And acknowledge some folks. So first, Kristine was born September 19th, 1972 in Logan, Utah. She passed away in December 20th, 2024 in Cottonwood Heights. She's the daughter of Rex Lewis Pitcher and Jane Butters Pitcher. Her services are happening Saturday, January 4th at 10 o'clock here at Larkin Sunset Gardens. We have some honorary urn bearers. Devin Price, Paul Pitcher, Douglas Pitcher, David Pitcher, Jacob Pitcher, Kyler Pitcher, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Trey Pitcher, Oliver Wheatley, Benjamin Pitcher, Dashiell Pitcher, August Winters, Brent Butters, Kim Butters, Dyer Pitcher, Dan Pitcher, and Bart Pitcher. We have a chorister, Emily Osborne, who is a friend, and thank you for your service, Emily. And accompanist is Linda Smith, who is a cousin, and thank you, Linda. We are going to have an opening hymn, Amazing Grace, and I believe they will be performing. Am I right on that, Denise? Where? Oh, we're singing that. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, Amazing Grace. And it is found, thank you for that correction. Thank you. It is found on the back of the program. The lyrics are, so you folks can join in. And then after that, the hymn, we're going to have an invocation given by Douglas Pitcher, the brother, and we will go to that point.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming to celebrate the life of my sister and friend Kristine. It is truly an honor that Devin and Sienna have given me the opportunity to open today with some thoughts and somewhat of a prayer in what I hope will be a celebration of life for Kristine. I know it would have brightened her heart to see a room so full of people that she loved. We gather today not just to mourn, but to celebrate a life and the memory of Kristine, a life that touched each of us in unique and meaningful ways. In this moment, we all have an opportunity to reflect on the incredible impact Kristine had on all of us and the world around her. When you met Kristine, it wasn't like meeting a stranger. It was like returning with a friend who had only spent a little time away. She was graceful, kind, sarcastic, witty, and to the point. What I remember the most about Kristine was her ability to connect with people in a way that most people don't. She had a way of lighting up a room just by walking into it. While we may feel so much sorrow today, I would like to ask us all to also remember the joy she brought into our lives, the many lessons she taught us, and the love she so freely gave. I would also like to ask for today to be a day about gratitude. Gratitude for the time that we had Kristine, no matter how long or short it was. Gratitude for the memories that are now cherished treasures, moments that we will carry with us in our hearts as long as we live. While death is an inevitable part of life, we must not let it overshadow the beauty and precious experiences we all shared with her. We are all living in the wake of something we cannot change, but we are also standing in the presence of something that will always remain: love. The love that Kristine gave, the love we felt, and the love that still endures. It's in the laughter and the quiet moments and the shared experiences. It lives on, not in sadness, but in every act of kindness, in every thought, gesture, every thoughtful gesture, in every life we touch because of Kristine's influence. Sadness, as we all know, can be overwhelming. It can be debilitating and feel as though it has no end. But in these dark moments, I believe there is a way to lift ourselves up through gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool, one that can help us break free from the grip of sadness. When we focus on what we have instead of what we have lost, we open our hearts to healing. Gratitude helps us see the beauty that remains in the world and the opportunities that are still present in our lives. It doesn't mean that we ignore the pain or the loss or drown the sorrow, but it gives us the strength to rise above it. I know Kristine would want us to remember the good, to focus on the joy, and allow gratitude to root itself in our hearts as a foundation for healing. Though we will undoubtedly feel sadness and loss today, please let us also promise to honor Kristine by not allowing sadness to consume us. She would want us to live fully, to embrace the beauty around us, and to carry forward her legacy of kindness and love. In embracing gratitude, we honor her memory, and we allow ourselves to experience the fullness of life even in the face of adversity. Let us live as Kristine did, with purpose, with passion, and with an open heart. Invite your neighbor over, bake some cookies, or throw the coolest derby hat day party anyone's ever seen. And when we think of her, whether it's today, tomorrow, or years from now, let us smile, because in every smile, in every act of kindness, and every step we take forward, Kristine lives on. I would like to take a moment to have 1 minute of silence for all of us to remember our favorite memory of Kristine, or to pray to any deity of your choosing. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you for the music, and thank you, Douglas, for the invocation and words. We will now have a life sketch given by Diane Pitcher, who's her sister. We'll have some remarks given by her friend Ashley Lanier, and then we will have a musical number by Dawn Siemens, To Where You Are, and we'll go to that point.
I have to apologize in advance. I have some caveat stories about my time with my sister Kristine to take a look at her life through my perspective. This life sketch is not necessarily in chronological order, so I'll be doubling back. I hope I don't lose my audience. Kristine was born September 19th, 1972, in Logan, Utah, to Rex Lewis Pitcher and Jane Butters Pitcher. She was the second of 6 children. She was raised in Preston, Idaho. As a child, Kristine wrote darling little children's books. Later in life, she collected children's books that she handed down to Roseanne and I when we had children. She was very studious and created personalized curricula for her younger siblings when she was only a child herself. I was fortunate that Kristine had this drive. As a child, she probably didn't recognize that 3 years difference was a lot of difference when it came to scholastic achievement. Kristine was trying to teach me how to read when I was 3 to 4 and multiplication by 5. I largely credit Kristine with my early academic success, as she was always keeping me ahead until I was cognizant enough to garner that ambition for myself. Kristine loved and doted on her younger siblings, Douglas, David, and Rosanna, spoiling them on occasion and caretaking for them. Kristine was an excellent cook. She often cooked for her siblings and made the best mac and cheese. As young children, Paul, Kristine, and I would explore the 13-acre pipe yard behind our home, which is an old drive-in property that's situated, an old drive-in movie theater property. It felt like we were on an archaeological dig in a foreign land. We would find arrowheads, old cans, rusted metal pieces, and parts. As we contemplated where in time these magical elements were created and enjoyed the realization that we were the ones to unearth these small treasures of history. Kristine was born a rather shy, quiet child who frightened easily. As a baby, Paul would get into her crib and tried to feed her real food instead of her infant liquid diet that she was on, a theme that would play out when she was sick. As Paul would routinely take Kristine meals. When she first went to school, she would find Paul in his first grade class and sit by him to feel safe. My brother was her protector and indeed her caretaker and advocate in her final days, and even now. Kristine overcame her shyness and indeed became quite outgoing. When Kristine was a senior in high school, I was a freshman. And it was fairly nice to have a sister that was popular, a status that never, unfortunately, I was never granted. Kristine loved fashion, makeup, and hair, and big hair she had. Kristine loved high school. She had many friends, and with her friends is where she wanted to be. Most notably with her childhood best friend, Holly Niederhauser. The pair were almost inseparable, with or without boyfriends. And indeed, the two, along with their frequent friend, Sarah Espinoza, engaged in assorted good times and juvenile shenanigans. I got to relish in this mischief by proxy due to hearing about it in short order without the pain of getting into trouble myself. Kristine also held a student body office in high school, and she and Holly did junior miss pageant. When it was my turn, Kristine did my makeup. Kristine graduated from Preston High School in 1990 and attended Utah State University, where she was even more popular. Kristine and Holly were recruited by Chi Omega for her freshman year. She cut her leadership teeth, subsequently becoming the president of the Utah State chapter. Kristine took her oath and sorority sisterhood very seriously, something she maintained throughout her life. I never knew Kristine to break an oath of confidence on a sorority sister or a Sigma Nu brother. She mentored the other young women in her house and thereby honed her leadership and mentoring skills. When I transferred from BYU, Utah to Utah State halfway through my junior year, I would visit Kristine at the Chi Omega house. I have fond memories of tagging along with my older sister, who was always prominent at Chi Omega and Sigma Nu soirees and events. I would watch my sister walk into the door like she owned the place. sum up the social dynamic in short order, and be absolutely blown away on how expeditiously she could work a room. As for class, oh yeah, that college thing. We were both majoring in psychology and we had one class together. In this particular class, we could write a group paper, but it had to be a group effort as long as everyone contributed. I don't recall seeing my sister in class a lot, probably because I attended on the regular. She thought it would be a great idea if we wrote this paper together. I called her, but she was usually too busy. The night before, I called her and I said, Kristine, you have to add some content to this paper. What content she added, I don't recall. We both submitted our paper. Kristine got an A and I got a C. We had separate TAs, and apparently my TA did not care for my paper. I pointed out this discrepancy to our professor, and I was the last given an A. Thank you, Kristine, for getting me that A. Kristine graduated in 1996 with bachelor's degrees in both psychology and family human development. After college, she began a career at Tech Systems after she fortunately did not obtain employment in the social service industries because job openings in that area were very scarce. Kristine was goal-oriented, tenacious, and ardently driven for success, traits that I have highly admired in my sister. Kristine thrived at Tech Systems, where she met her husband, Scott, and where she connected high-profile clients with high-profile corporate careers in technology and engineering at some of the largest technology corporations in the world. And I think we all know who those are. She later became the state director of branch operations, leading Tech Systems sales managers and recruiters. She assisted my brothers, all three of them, in obtaining employment in the telecommunications industry, where they all happened to be very good, as we were raised from day one with computers, as my dad was an OG original nerd. My brothers have gone on to have very successful careers themselves in very different specialities, thanks to Kristine opening up those first opportunities. Kristine had a vested interest in their success, as she did all of her clients. She freely shared her business and financial management knowledge with others. Through her efforts, countless men and women had their first opportunity for successful careers with upward mobility. When Kristine was at the height of her career, just before she turned 38, I lost my first child. When she came to visit me, she told me my loss had a profound effect on her, that she decided to retire to become a full-time mother. Kristine married Scott Price on March 31st, 2000 in Sandy, Utah, and they had the most spectacular wedding and reception I've ever attended. Years later, she purchased her dream home and decorated it in her favorite Tuscan style, a style she held tightly to, never yielding to fads or trends. She always maintained a beautiful, clean, welcoming home. Kristine and Scott had 2 children together, Devin and Sienna, the people she loved most in this world. Kristine cooked gourmet baby food for her children when they were little, giving them the very best. She actively volunteered her time in their elementary schools, was actively involved in their education, and always said the most exciting part of her day was being able to welcome her children home from school. Kristine paid attention to her children's particular interest. When they were young, she would plan and execute elaborate birthday parties for children, focusing the birthday party theme on whatever esoteric interest they had at the time, like dinosaurs for Sienna or Minecraft for Devin. Kristine took her children to the park. She would watch movies with them. She liked to taking them to Disneyland. She attended their sports events and liked to do photography with them. Kristine supported her children's interests and activities by signing them up for special classes, events, or sports. She attended their games and school events, something business corporate executives working insane hours often cannot or will not do, a problem that I've suffered with myself. She ensured that they had the best clothing, top-notch computers, and took them on luxury vacations. Kristine spent time with her children individually, taking Sienna to get her nails done or out for ice cream. She spent time with Devin and talked about him constantly. Devin cared for his mother in her last years, actually, in final days. Kristine loved following football, especially BYU's team. BYU is where her husband attended college. Every time I was over at her house, football was on, and if it was not, it was the news. Kristine was always abreast of world affairs and monitored the stock market closely. Kristine was a foodie and especially loved Italian and Japanese. She got me to love sushi, and indeed her favorite roll became my favorite roll, topped with thinly sliced lemons. Kristine was always giving to others. She would see a need and fill it regardless of expense. She donated her time and resources to several charities and was ardently involved in the junior league and donated to law enforcement agencies regularly. Kristine was also a generous gifter. Kristine gave me my first iPod hot off the press and had it engraved for me. She also bailed me out of the Salt Lake County jail because I was bawling my eyes out, and paid for my housing the summer after my 1L year when I was working in Salt Lake. These are the reasons I forgave Kristine for trying to tear my legs off when I was too young to remember, but I sure have heard about it. Kristine had a gift of connecting with people. She knew no stranger, and many benefited from her gracious presence. Kristine's sense of humor was always on point. She could trade wits with the best of them, and always was ready with a funny or sarcastic retort. She was a great friend and maintained several multi-decade friendships. Kristine traveled the world with her family, particularly Europe and Hawaii. Italy's where her husband went on his mission, and that was her favorite. She loved her luxury brands, especially Louis Vuitton, Marc Jacobs, and Dooney & Burke. She loved jewelry and sparkling water, but held tightly to pecuniary items that had really no sentimental, to non-pecuniary items that had sentimental value, like her childhood pillow that my mom made. She carried that throughout her life. She was well-dressed and adored her hair, makeup, and skin routines. Kristine loved Beautycounter, Lancome, and Bobbi Brown. She tried really hard to get me to use Beautycounter, which I absolutely did if she gave it to me. She got Rosanna sold on Bobbi Brown, and then I got grilled on both sides about the virtues of Bobbi Brown. It's interesting because a few days after Kristine passed, I went to Ulta for my regular hair appointment. And on the way out, I just had to check out my historically favorite brand, MAC. Sitting by the door in the middle of the display was a single, overpriced Bobbi Brown lip gloss duo. I curiously picked it up and asked a nearby employee if there was more sets. She went over to the main Bobbi Brown shelf, and indeed, there was not any. I purchased it. On the way home, I recognized that one color was a color Roseanne would wear, and one was a color Kristine would wear. Later at Kristine's viewing, I took out her color and I put it on her lips so I could send her out with her Bobbi Brown on. A gesture I hope she appreciated. Kristine loved entertaining and opening her home to family and friends. And she was always a gracious host. She loved her Super Bowl party, lavish Derby Day hat party, but her holiday cookie party was a favorite. She supported women artisans by hosting and attending small events where their wares or services were sold. I attended one such function with her. That's a story for another day. My family recalls laughing together with Kristine on her back deck watching the sunset, and no one left empty-handed. Her family Thanksgiving was served on her precious wedding china, which was a duplicate of our beloved maternal grandmother's wedding china. Kristine also had a special bond with her grandma pitcher. She loved her egg juice meat relish, and I am now honored to make this for my family. I gave Kristine her last jar when she was in hospice. I hope she had the opportunity to eat some. Kristine is survived by Sienna and Devin, her stepson Bradley, her former husband Scott Price, her parents Rex and Jane Pitcher, her siblings Paul, me, Douglas, and David, 10 nieces and nephews, many aunts and uncles. She is preceded in death by her little sister Rosanna, cousins Brenda Butters Wilding and Shane Marcel Pitcher, Uncle Keith Harvey Pitcher, Aunt Lisa Butters Lind, and our 4 grandparents. I'm grateful that Kristine was my older sister. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Everyone in my family had a special connection with Kristine, and we each have a host of special stories about her. She'll be sorely missed. Ending. Kristine, when talking to me, or Rosanna personally would call us sister instead of by our first name. Now I will say back to her what she would always say to me. I love you, sister.
Good morning. My name is Ashley Driver Lanier, and I can't read because I need my reading glasses. I had the privilege of, I've had the privilege of Kristine's friendship for over 30 years. Our paths first crossed at Utah State University, and although we were in different sororities and did get to know each other at that time, it wasn't until the summer of 1995 that our friendship truly developed when we both worked together at the Brass Ranch in Sun Valley, Idaho. When we first started working together, Kristine struck me as quick-witted, sharp, and had this awesome sense of humor. Above all, she was just so much fun, and it didn't take long for us to become inseparable. After college, we continued to share life's adventures. We worked together in Park City for a summer, and then moved to Salt Lake City together, where we both began our careers at Tech Systems, working as technical recruiters. We worked long, hard hours, and our hard work paid off. It propelled both of our careers forward pretty quickly, and within the first year, both of us earned promotions, Kristine earning a coveted sales role focused on the telecom industry, and I moved up to a technical training position. It was a really exciting time, but there was one hitch. My promotion took me across the country to Tech Systems corporate headquarters in Baltimore, Maryland, and Kristine never forgave me for breaking up the band. Even so, our bond remained strong. We stayed in touch constantly, and whenever we could, we made time to visit each other. In 2000, we both got married just 2 months apart and had the honor of standing by each other as each other's bridesmaids. Then came the joys of motherhood. Kristine embraced her new role with such love and grace, especially raising her 2 beautiful children, Devin and Sienna. She was an incredible, devoted mother, nurturing and always ready with a smile or a joke to brighten their day. Kristine was one of the most remarkable women I've ever known. She was not only stunningly beautiful and impeccably dressed, but also deeply intelligent, driven, and full of life. Her humor was infectious, her spirit unmatched. But what I'll remember the most is her unwavering kindness, her ability to make everyone around her be seen, feel valued, and the love she shared always radiated. Kristine was such a dear friend. Now I know she's in a place surrounded by God's love, hugging her baby pillow and enjoying her mashed potatoes. Rest in peace, Pitchy. You will ever hold a special place in my heart.
Who can say for certain? Maybe you're still here. I feel you all around me. Your memory's so clear. Deep in the stillness, I can hear you speak. You're still an inspiration. Can it be that you are mine forever, love? You are watching over me from up above. Fly me up to where you are beyond a distant star. I wish upon tonight to see you smile, if only for a while to know you're there. A breath away is not far to where you are. Are you gently sleeping here inside my dream? And isn't faith believing all power can't be seen? As my heart holds you just one beat away, I cherish all you gave me every day. For you are my forever love, watching me from up above. And I believe that angels breathe, and that love will live on and never leave. Fly me up to where you are beyond the distant star. I wish upon tonight to see you smile, if only for a while to know you're there. A breath away's not far to where you are. I know you're there. A breath away's not far to where you are.
Thank you, Diane, Ashley, and Dawn. We'll now continue with our program. We're going to hear from Tammy Westberg, who's a friend. And then we'll hear from Kent and Jason Smith, who are cousins. They will be performing How Great Thou Art. It is arranged by Rebecca Belliston and accompanied by Linda Smith, her cousin. And just want to mention that this musical number is specifically arranged for Kristine and her service today. So, and then we will go to that point. See if I can get through this. My name's Tammy. My husband and I had heard about Scott and Kristine about 25 years ago from some mutual friends. They said we've met the funnest couple and we just had to meet them, and they lived right by us. Shortly after that, Kristine was having one of her infamous derby parties. I didn't really know what that was all about, but soon found out and we were invested. I had actually arrived late due to work and was greeted with open arms from Kristine. She was so sweet, bubbly, and outgoing. She greeted me with the biggest hug, and her huge hat smacked me right in the face. Instantly, I knew that this was the start of an amazing friendship. Her hospitality was always over the top, with her massive spread of appetizers, drinks, and great conversation. This also included her favorite Christmas cookie parties. Everybody would bring a batch of their cookies. She gave everybody a fun Christmas plate, and you'd walk away with a variety of homemade cookies. She had a way of getting people together, enjoying one another, and loving people to meet new friends. She was giving, welcoming right off the bat with everybody that she came across. Along with having fun, I remember she was a super hard worker, had an amazing career. She worked very long hours, traveled for work, which she didn't actually love because it took her away from her children. But she always said, work hard, play hard, and don't forget to take the time to have fun with things in life. Her stepson, Bradley, was the same age as Chase, my son. They even shared the same birthday. This made our summers so much fun for the boys.
We would come and visit, of course, and the four of us, my husband Shane, Scott, Kristine, and I, clicked so fast. Several summer nights spent on the patio, barbecuing, laughing, and just having great conversation. Some of the favorite times were when Devin was born. We would get to go around walks around the neighborhood. It was fun living so close to somebody that was here for me in a moment's notice. Even when she moved a whole 15 minutes away, our friendship did not change. As time went on, my moments with Pitchy grew more and more. We had the fun times of doing weekly facials at her house. We would talk and laugh and just have so much fun. She was Aunt Pitchy to not only my kids, but all of our friends' kids as well. Every time she talked to any one of the kids, she instilled in them the importance of education. She told them if she could do it, meaning putting herself through college, landing herself a successful career, that anybody could do it. She was ambitious, passionate, and appreciated the finer things in life, such as her nice clothing, jewelry, and her fine china. She worked hard for what she had, and she used that to fulfill her dreams with her house on the hill, traveling with her husband, Scott. She and Scott had an amazing marriage for many years and enjoyed being together. As you know, she was very passionate about her skincare and shoved products in everyone's face when she started selling Beauty Counter because it was such a natural product and it was just perfect for her. So in honor of Pitchy, please wash her face tonight. I'm sure everyone's mascara is running down their face. More than anything, she loved her children. When they were little, she would be greeting them at home with an array of snacks and be wanting to hear everything about their day. I see the best qualities reflecting in them regularly. I hope you both know, Devin and Sienna, that your mother and father love you very much, as she wanted the best for both of you. I will always be here to help you in any way that I can, and I hope that I'll still be part of your life. Your dad and Amy are the biggest cheerleaders that you have, and they have your best interest at heart, along with several family members and friends. Pitchy always used to say, talking about people, "You're a good egg." I recently came across a saying that said, "Everyone's a good egg. Some of us just have a few more cracks than others." Along the way, she had quite a few cracks that came about as she struggled with life and illness, but it did not change who she was. She was so loving and giving and never wanted anyone to go without anything, whether it was food, friendship, or love. Many of the hospital staff had told me all of the time that she had such a sense of humor. Even though she was in pain, they could tell that she was such an amazing person. In the end, when her mind was going rapidly, she still had some great moments, as we would talk about. She would talk about how we were going to Disneyland. She didn't have enough wristbands for all of us, so we had to figure that part out on our own. I just love that she was living her best life. She won a hot tub on the Rachel Ray show, and she was worried how they were going to get it in the backyard. The Drew Barrymore show also came and they did a whole segment because it was her birthday. So they wanted to celebrate with her, even though she was in the hospital and she was very sick. Every time I would see her, she was just gotten back from a trip, whether it was Boston, Italy, or Hawaii. She would tell me how beautiful it was, how much fun she was having, and she was so passionate about it. So it brought me some happiness knowing in her mind she was still having the time of her life. As sad and heartbroken as I am to have my dear friend not here on earth anymore, I am very happy that her cracks are filled and she is at peace. I hope her family finds comfort in knowing that she is whole again.
my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed.
When through the woods and forest glades I wander, and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees. When I look down from lofty mountain grandeur, and hear the brook and feel the gentle breeze,
then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in.
that on the cross, my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin.
When Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart? Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim that God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art,
How great thou
how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Thank you. We will now hear from Lindsay Bronca, who's a friend, after which we'll have our closing song, and that'll be You Raise Me Up by Josh Groban. Then we'll have a benediction by Bishop Jim Moss, and that'll be the conclusion of the service. Just a little bit of announcements for the graveside service or for the inurnment. You folks are welcome to, you'll have about 5 to 10 minutes to gather your coats, use the restroom, and then we can all walk out together. In the cemetery, we are very close. We're just going to all walk together. And it's just the very first garden inside the cemetery, so right by the roundabout. And you folks are all welcome to meet us there, or we can all go together, whatever. There will be arrows and point you in the right direction. if you'd like to jump ahead of us. So there's that announcement. So just going back, we're going to have our speaker by Lindsay Bronca, and then a closing song, and then a benediction by Bishop Jim Moss. Thank you.
I am so grateful to the Pitcher family and the Price family for allowing me to have this opportunity to share thoughts about our dearest Kristine. I met Kristine in 1996, the year both of us started working at Aerotech, which later became Tech Systems. She had recently graduated from Utah State, and I had recently graduated from high school. I was hired in an administrative position, and she was hired into recruiting and sales. Kristine was a natural leader with great business sense and a keen ability to connect with people. Her presence had a certain gravity, which made her an inspiration. Early in my career, I learned how to navigate the corporate environment through her mentorship. She was one of only few females in leadership 25 years ago, which only empowered her to push harder. In a male-dominated organization, she knew how to play a strategic game, making thoughtful, methodical decisions about who she hired, navigating corporate politics. She was very goal-oriented and achieved many things she set her mind to. Kristine had what she called the pitchy gut. She had great instincts that contributed to her very successful 17-year career. Kristine was a mama bear. She fiercely looked after her people. She gave those who worked with her ample space to learn, to grow, and make mistakes. She gave others far more grace than she ever gave herself. Always feeling like she had something to prove, she channeled that drive into helping others grow. Kristine taught valuable lessons that formed the foundation for many people's careers. She had a unique ability to bring out the best in those around her and help them see her potential. I know the legacy of those she impacted reached farther than she'll ever know. Toward the end of 2001 and 2002, in the dot-com bubble, she was the sales manager and I was her office manager. It was a time of downsizing in IT, and my job had become next in the organization to be affected by reduction. Kristine fought for corporate to offer me a demotion rather than take a severance and leave the company. I will forever be grateful for her for that, because I'm still there 28 years later. Our company had a value statement: strive for excellence through serving others. Kristine lived this in her actions. It was one of her core strengths. She was an example of servant leadership in all that she did, in work and at home. I had a chance to see the variety of people that were attracted to Kristine's presence. She had many different friend groups throughout her life and maintained those friendships over decades. She was always looking for ways to bring people together. One of Kristine's terms of endearment was baby. If she put the word baby in front of something, then it was something special to her. It had nothing to do with an actual baby or the age of anything. She would just put baby in front of your name, like baby Lindsay or baby Tammy. She also did this with people at work, and some of the guys probably thought this was strange, but that their female boss would put baby in front of their name. But coming from her, it somehow worked. She would also do it to an object of some kind. Like today, she would have said, "Look at the baby flowers. Aren't they beautiful?" Kristine and I often talked about how we must have been connected in heaven, because there were always forces that brought us back together. Sometimes we'd go many months and sometimes years. without talking, but when we did, it was like we hadn't missed anything. We had a special bond and understood each other. Both of us being early-born siblings in our families, we shared similar traits, such as needing to be right and getting what we wanted. This often led to frustration between us, as she would try to convince me of her way, and I would try to convince her of mine. We were both good at resisting each other's wishes, but in the end, we walked away with love. After she retired, the times we got together or talked became more sporadic. We reconnected again about 5 years ago. We had both gone through major life changes and had lots to catch up on. We'd spent a lot of time together in recent years. One special memory I have about a year ago is when Kristine decided she wanted to go back to church. She felt like she didn't have anything to wear, and Kristine always needed to look her best wherever she was. So she asked if I would help her find some new dress clothes. She wasn't up for going shopping at that time, so I had gone shopping for her and brought the clothes back to her house. We had a fashion show at her house. She found new outfits that she really liked. She was able to accessorize things that she already had in her closet, belt, shoes, sweater, and that made her happy. In those moments, her brilliance was back. She had something to focus on, something to look forward to. Her demeanor had changed. Her confidence came back. She enjoyed getting dressed up for the short time that she was able to go to church. In Kristine's last few years, she relied heavily on her faith to help her through her hard times. Jesus Christ knew exactly what Kristine was dealing with, and my faith tells me that he was there for her through all of her trials. While I know Kristine so desired to be healed from all of her afflictions, it wasn't her plan. Jesus is the master healer, but he never promises us when that healing will come. For some, it is miraculous. Others, there is so much pain and suffering. I know that our Savior knew what was in her heart and heard her sincere prayers for healing and mercy. Her prayers were not answered the way she had hoped, and I do not know of his plan for her then or now, but I know that she lives again with her God and is free from pain and is in peace and living with joy. I want to share this poem that I found that I think is meaningful to all of our relationships with Kristine. To love someone long-term is to attend 1,000 funerals of the people they used to be. The people they're too exhausted to be any longer. The people they don't recognize inside themselves anymore. The people they grew out of. The people they never ended up growing into. We so badly want the people we love to get their spark back when it burns out. To become speedily found when they are lost. But it is not our job to hold anyone accountable to the people they used to be. It is our job to travel with them between each version and honor what emerges along the way. Sometimes it will be an ever more luminescent flame. Sometimes it will be a flicker that disappears and temporarily floods the room with a perfect darkness. Kristine's earthly light has gone out, but I know it is burning brightly in heaven. In her last years, she so wanted to serve others, but her illness prevented her from being who she wanted to be. I know she was grateful for all who served her. So many family members, friends, medical caregivers, who were her angels here on earth. She is now free of everything that held her back in this life, and I believe she is now able to finish fulfilling her calling of serving others. And she will have the chance to be a guardian angel from heaven. Devin and Sienna, you are all of the good things that about your mom. Look for her in your life. I know she will be there for you. She loved you so, and I know she'll be watching over you. I so wanted that brilliant Kristine to have come back, but to love her was to love all of her. I admired her because she was vulnerable. You knew how she was feeling, the good and the bad. She shared her struggles, what made her happy, what made her sad, what made her mad. Kristine was real. A relationship with Kristine wasn't always easy. It could be complicated at times, but it was worth it. Her decisions weren't always popular, and her choices could be polarizing. But we are all here because we could look past the challenges of her life and see how she made our lives better. She found a way to connect with everyone individually and left her mark on the world. I leave our friendship with a full heart. I was learning from her when she was at her most bright, and also when her light was about to go out. I choose not to see her life as a tragedy, leaving us so soon with too much potential, but rather as a remembrance of her legacy and all the impacts that she made in her life. May we all remember Kristine, who lived with a spirit of love and passion in all that she did.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Our eternal Father in heaven, we humbly and gratefully, at the conclusion of this memorial service for Kristine, give thee thanks for the many wonderful words of adoration, love, and kindness that have been expressed for Kristine and her family. We are grateful for the beautiful music and for the spirit that we have felt here. We are most grateful for the wonderful and infinite sacrifice of thy Son, Jesus Christ, who has made it possible for Kristine and for us to continue beyond this earthly life and to be able to be redeemed and saved. We, at this time, ask thee to please bless the family and friends of Kristine, those who mourn her loss, that they will be comforted in their time of need, that they will receive healing and understanding, and that they will receive the reassurance to know that Kristine lives on and that she is most certainly well cared for under thy watchful eye. We love thee, Father, and we express again our gratitude to thee for this opportunity to be here together today on behalf of Kristine. And remember her. We pray for these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
If everyone will please rise. Sorry, I have one more thing to add. For those of you that had something to say to Kristine and weren't able to, or that you just want to send her a message, we do have a bunch of balloons that we got with some markers. You're able to write a message on the balloon, and after the dedication, we'll let those balloons rise. So if anybody feels the need to do that, we have that opportunity for you.